All right, here we go. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. We are live. Tonight, we are talking about the many different ways in which we can make money move faster and easier to us, which I'm super excited. For the past month, all during 2025, I have been, yes, you got live, Kimberly! all December of 2025, I have been thinking about, in reflection mode, what worked this past year. How did we do financially? There were a lot of ups, there were a lot of downs. We are going into 2026 in some debt, but with a lot of upside, because I know that we are gonna get out of that. We have a nice strategic plan. We've been in response to reflecting, doing a lot of planning around 2026. So thinking about what is our strategy for business, how are we upselling clients, how are we attracting new clients. A part of that is bringing on new sellers, expanding our marketing team so that we are investing more into marketing so that we have much more visibility. People know who we are, what we do, which is, for a lot of entrepreneurs, they don't know that marketing is just as important as sales. It's the gateway to sales. Marketing is just as important as operations, because if you're not marketing, you can't sell, therefore you cannot operate. So for us, in response to us reflecting and looking at 2025, what worked, what didn't work, how did we do, why didn't we do really well in some areas, what do we need to double down on and get much better on, and then what's our strategic approach in getting there. It had, like, my brain, I am like fried at looking at all of the things that I don't say have to, because that sounds like a burden, but all the things that we get to do next year, which I am so excited about, but it is a bit of a heavy lift. And if there's any like solopreneurs or entrepreneurs here, please type so I know who is in the room and who I'm talking to. But we're looking at 2026. I also think I want to do like a 2026 like planning party. I find that a lot of people have a hard time actually, like, it works when you're in community and you have other people to bounce ideas off of and brainstorm with and ideate with and share, like, this is what I'm thinking, and then having someone to challenge that or poke holes in it and see where you can improve around your 2026 plan, especially if you don't have like a business coach or an executive coach or other thought leaders outside of yourself that can have that can think objectively and have a different perspective that for you to consider. But we are going into 2026. I feel confident, I feel nervous, I feel scared, because we're also stretching ourselves. There's some big stretch goals in there around attaining new clients, taking on new projects, upselling our current clients. And honestly, I have, in terms of, like, I know strategy, I know the tactics that we will take, but everything else is going to have to be powered by God, because I'm like, okay, these are some big asks and we have not been here before. So it's going to require a lot of faith. Okay, we have, hey, Tammy, Leah is an entrepreneur. Kimberly is an entrepreneur. Kimberly said, I want to get my first client before the year ends. What do you do, Kimberly? What is your business? And I will be happy to help you figure out how you can get that client. Client acquisitions can be really challenging, right? Like when I first started, Leah, tell me what you do. Kimberly, I'm running on faith too, girl. I'm running on faith and vibes. Hi, Casey. Tell me what you do. Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a creator? Are you a freelancer? But yes. So when I first started, the way that I got clients, it was because I was a freelancer. So I come from media and entertainment. That's the world that I was birthed into. And I started out in post-production for television shows. So all of our favorite television shows, I'm pretty sure that everything that y'all have watched in the reality space, I have produced, worked on in some capacity. Like I've produced shows for VH1, MTV. Those are like legacy brands that are starting to fade out. They're starting to die out. But that's like the world that I come from. I've produced for History Channel, for A&E, for every single network you can think of. And then I went on to, from there, I started working in documentaries, and documentaries burned me out. And so I was like, I need something a little bit more low lift. So a friend of mine was working for Gary Vaynerchuk's company, VaynerMedia, and Gary was building out, I actually helped Gary V build out his studio. Now, I wasn't working with him directly, but I was a part of that core team. There was probably like 5 to 7 of us building out this studio. So I got to learn from and if y'all follow Gary V, y'all know he's very like lean, bootstrappy, all that. I got to learn firsthand what it was like to build an actual content studio. So I went there and I was like, oh my gosh, like I love this. I love branded content. I love working in the branded space. And then I went on to like direct big brands, direct big campaigns for brands, like, and different publishers too, Vice, Refinery. I don't think I worked at Complex. We talked about doing business with Complex, but I didn't work with them. But Bleacher Report, that's where I got to my like foot in with sports. But it was working at Gary V's company where I was like, this is what it's like building a studio. I could do that. And then I went on and built my own studio. So let's see. What do we have? I started an online beauty supply studio in Barbados. Oh, that's so dope. Sold 50% of my inventory in 14 days. Okay, how do we get you to sell that other 85? We got to get that other 85% of inventory. So, and what's that like? Are you based in Barbados? Or are you based here in the US? And what is that like doing like international business? I don't have any experience there. Leah says, I'm an author, cultural strategist, and consultant. I train and advise nonprofit and colleges. Leah, what do you train them on? Kimberly, I'm a relocation strategist. I know of a solid way that people can invest in a company that exports. That's incredible. You should be making content around that. Like, or do you already? I'm sorry, I don't want to assume. How did you find a good CPA when you freelance? Taxes freak me out. Girl, I learned a lot of this the hard way. I have a really good CPA for freelancers. His name is Connor Gaffney. You can look him up on LinkedIn. He has been, I've outgrown him. Like our business needs are much more, are much larger now, and we really need someone who's like a tax strategist to support us in decreasing our tax liability, and who's like privy of like tax law and can help us strategically think through ways in which we can like hold on to as much money as possible without giving so much to the government, because of our growth, our tax bill year over year continues to increase. And now I'm at a place where, like, my aunt is a CFO, a chief financial officer, and she looked at like my tax bill for 2024 and she was like, absolutely not, this is insane. So yes, Tia, you need a really, really good CPA for your freelance work. Also, you want to make sure you're structured well. So with your freelance work, Tia, are you doing everything under a business? In what state? What other questions do I have? Also, and until you get a CPA, use tools like Claude or Chat to help you figure out what you need to be doing and keeping your books organized and clean until you have someone who can come on and support you. But go on LinkedIn and look up Connor Gaffney. I'm gonna pull up his name right now and spell it for you. He has been doing CONOR, last name GAFFNEY. He has been doing our taxes since when I was like transitioning from freelancer into entrepreneur. He's very conservative. He will make sure you do not get audited by the IRS. Now that may come with a little bit of a higher tax bill, but it's erring on the side of caution. But also I heard that the IRS, they're not really doing audits as of late, but you ain't hear that from me. Kimberly says export fruits and gives investors a payment every month. It's not a lot for those living in America. Interesting, but it can work abroad. Nice. I love that. Yes, Ayana, Connor Gaffney. Exactly. That's how you spell it. That's exactly how you spell it. Yeah, hit him up. He's really great. Tia said, I'm doing everything under a LLC in Tennessee. I love it. Also, you can look at states like, my business is a Texas-based business. Look at states like Delaware, Texas. They have more friendly tax laws. And like a lot of the businesses, our favorite brands, businesses that we wear on our feet, we hold in our hand, we use their computers, they have their businesses registered in a lot of these tax-friendly states because it greatly decreases their taxability based off the state that they're registered in. So I live and operate out of New Jersey, but it's a Texas-based business, and you can do like little things to help get around that. Like you could get you a virtual address in Delaware if you were to choose to register your business in Delaware. But with everything I'm saying, you have to check with a CPA. Don't say Shirley told me to do this, because I'm not an accountant. I'm just telling y'all some of the stuff that has worked for me. But make sure you talk to an accountant. Tia says, noted. Yes, yes, yes. You can tell him Shirley sent you. He's going to know exactly who you are talking about. He's trusted. He's vetted. You can depend on him. You can count on him. But also always do your own research. Always. Shirley's just making the recommendations. So I want to know choose like one goal that you guys are working towards for 2026. Please drop it in. And I want to see what you guys are planning for next year. I'll share some of ours. So Kimberly said, do I need to do free calls to get my clients? You can do consultations. If you do it, I wouldn't burn too much time. Here's why. A lot of people think money is the currency. I believe, based off my perception, money is an infinite currency. Meaning, once it's gone, I can always take a action to replenish it. It's always available. It's infinite. Time is a finite currency. Attention is a finite currency. Once it's spent, I cannot get my time back. I can't get it back. Once I spend my attention, I can't get it back. Unlike money. So, Kimberly, with your calls, what I would do is look at your schedule and see what can you really invest as far as what's required for you to extract the information you need to acquire that client. I can guarantee you it's probably not an hour-long consultation. How much time do you need to make an impression that would make them want to come back and get some more? And then if you had to do 2 to 10 of these in a day, how much is that going to cost you? And then I'd build a very structured agenda so that you are not burning your time, because remember, the time currency, once it's spent, you cannot get it back. And if you're putting your energy in those consultation calls, it's taking you away from somewhere else. So these consultation calls need to be structured in a way that will increase your probability of having like a solid ROI. So consultation calls are incredible. I have been to get one client for the past for the past week. We have been on back to back calls, and the project has not been awarded yet. But there's a lot of things that I am, like a lot of seeds that I'm dropping in this call, that even if we don't get this project awarded to us, they know who we are. They know our standard. They know we're dependable. They've seen our creativity. They've seen so much. And if awarded, the payoff is really, really big. It's a big payoff. So I'm willing to invest a little bit more on the, upfront. So I think for you, Kimberly, it's great for you to ask a few more questions and get clear about what you would be getting in that call and what you would be giving in that call. Because both of those things are really, really, really important. And tell me what you think about that, Kimberly. Can I charge from consultations from the start? You can, but do you have like proven expertise? Do you have recommendations that you can lean into? I have a few more questions and you can answer those in the chat. But overall, yes, anyone can charge for consultations. There's consultants all over, charging. I saw my friend Jody has been telling me this for the longest. What people have been doing now, and I saw someone I know post this on LinkedIn. She's a big time consultant for like Target, Walmart, a creative consultant. And now you can book on her Calendly 1 hour consultation for $500. So that could be a service that you offer. And it's a big thing that people are doing. Anissa, hi Anissa, my sister. Launching health tech software. Girl, you always doing something. You are incredible. Wake up happy sis said, hello. Little Miss Tintin said, my goal, I'd like to get one client for supply chain consultancy. Ooh, I love that. What's your strategy? What's the approach you're going to take to obtain that goal? Leah said, make my first 250K. Leah, tell me the strategy. And is this a big jump? You're going from what to what? Is it a increase of 20%? Is it an increase of 100%? And what's the strategic approach that you're going to take to get that 250? Yes, Leah, you can do it. Do you specialize in international? Oh, we got some. I know that's right. Look at y'all. Agree. 15-minute consultations is a good starting point. People know their problems right away. I have a clarifying question for you, Casey in Barbados. Are you saying leaving the 15 minutes, people will be clear on their problems, or you're saying going into the 15 minutes, people know their problems? Because I have an interesting perspective where I believe most entrepreneurs actually don't know what their problem is. Most of them don't know what their internal problem is, and most of them don't know the problem that they're solving in the marketplace. But maybe Casey in Barbados is saying after doing that 15-minute call, they'll have more clarity about their internal problem, or maybe the problem they're trying to solve for. But I'll wait for you to tell me what you meant. I don't have experience yet, but I can create a plan for someone who wants to live on passive income. Use chat. Let chat be like your thought partner. Start prompting and having it give you ideas and ping-ponging your thoughts and your concepts back and forth. Tia said, bringing in my first 150K, planning for 2 contracts in business development. Okay, Tia, you gotta tell me how you're gonna achieve this. I want to hear what's y'all approach, because these are some incredible goals, and there might be some stuff in here that I can use and leverage too. Leah said, it's not a big jump. My work is in public health and sexual violence, between networking and pitching. Cool. Ayana said they don't have the words for what their issue is, but it's like being a doctor. You can diagnose it. Gotcha. So they get to come in, they say, Doc, here's the symptoms. Here's what's happening. And then she's playing doctor, and she's helping to give them a diagnosis. Yep. And I'd figure out in those 15 minutes, I do think that 15 minutes is a good starting point, but like in those 15 minutes, how do I quickly diagnose? I agree. Leah said I already have 75K in consulting contracts signed already. Let's go. Well, Leah done figured it out. Drop what works, Leah. Educate us. Kimberly said, chat is warning me not to encourage or solicit investing. That's interesting. Is that something that you're looking to do? Little Miss Tintin, I also love that name. I've been in supply chain and dentistry, so the goal is to reach out to dental schools that have the problem. I think that's what you're trying to say. And if that's it, I think that's smart. Yes, 15-minute consultations, gather info during the booking, and lead with expertise during. It might be good too, right, to use that as almost as like a funnel, because the more you do it, you'll figure out what your conversion rate is. And for those that don't convert into a client, it would be good to be able to funnel them into something else so that you don't lose them and you stay top of mind. Because so that might mean a LinkedIn newsletter, a Substack, or whatever it may be. But you could also use it as a really good funneling tool. And so if they don't convert when you're wanting them to convert, if you can keep your communications going with them, eventually the goal is eventually they will convert into some sort of client or buy some sort of product or service for you, or maybe they'll recommend somebody to you. So that one thing that we have to do as entrepreneurs is think long term, right? And think about the sales cycle in steps. So for you, where you're thinking about doing consultations, right, there might be a much longer or bigger goal that you're looking to achieve, where if you're talking to 5 people, they may not all roll into that longer goal now, but how can you roll them into steps that could eventually help you get that bigger goal? I hope that makes sense. It made sense in my head. Tia said, I've started reaching out to corporate and professional foundations that need a refresh. Are these cold outreach? Are these cold outreach, or are these warm leads, Tia? So that matters, especially when we're talking about corporate. The corporate can take anywhere from like 9 to 12 months to convert, and that's after you've made like contact and started nurturing those relationships. Leah said pitching is key. Pitching is key. Never be afraid to get in those emails and DMs. Leah, I gotta do a better job with that. I feel like tools like LinkedIn is like chef's kiss, and I'm not doing enough outreach there. Kimberly said, I moved abroad with nothing. I wish I knew about the strategy I have now. Invest $33K and receive payments I could live on. I think I kind of understand, Kimberly. What are you saying, that you just moved, you've invested $33,000, but you don't have a strategy right now. Anissa said, chat told me who I should reach out to for the software in tiers. Was that helpful? I have a virtual private mental health practice. Good point. Email list. Yes. How does that work, Casey in Barbados? The virtual private mental health practice. I lived abroad for lower cost of living. Ooh, where you at? Mexico. I wasted so much money that I could have, invested. Girl, story of my life. I have one professional foundation in the pipeline, just need to seal the deal. Anissa said, also looked up conference for that industry so I can build relationships. That's really important. So for me, I'm in media and entertainment, and we are looking to expand. And typically the type of clients that I work with, those relationships, like if they're not even warm, like a hot referral, it takes about 9 to 12 months to convert them into like a sale. So what we're doing next year, we're going to, I think we have like 13 conferences on the list, and they'll be split out between me, our chief of content, and our executive in charge. But we're going to like marketing conferences, Cannes Lion of Creativity. I might go to Sundance. I might go to CES, which is in like 3 weeks. I'm waiting to hear back on some things. But conferences are, for your industry, whatever industry you may be in, conferences are incredible because that is where all the folks relative to your industry, they're going to be convening. And they're all there to network, to learn, and you can bypass all these emails and calls and get in a room a lot faster with people, get meetings set up a lot quicker. So I would, if you have the financing, if you can and you have the time, I would invest where you can into conferences. But Anissa, which ones are you going to go to next year for your industry, for tech? Leah said I got several media interviews from LinkedIn DMs. I know that's right, girl. She ain't scared. Very helpful. Kimberly said I am in Mexico. I went to Mexico City last year for my birthday. I loved it. I love Mexico City. Mexico, yes. Tia, what's a smart strategy? Girl, I'm just yapping. What other creative or marketing conferences would you recommend? You know what, y'all? I'm going to look at, I'm going to pull it up right now, and I'm going to tell y'all exactly where I'm going next year. Or not, it might not be me specifically, but it's definitely going to be like either me, our EIC, our executive in charge, or our chief content officer. So, yes, please. All right, so we're doing, Nicole said, what other creative or marketing conferences would you recommend? So these are the ones that we're going to go to. Advertising Week, that's in New York. That's in like October. Cannes Lion, that is, we're going to go to the Festival of Creativity. That is in June. I don't think I'm going to go to Afrotech. Anissa, Afrotech might be good for you since you're building a software. But I think someone from our team will go, especially because we do a lot in AI and it's more technology. We'll be at South by Southwest. Let's see, what else? CES, Sundance is good, Nicole. There's also a brand storytelling. There's a brand storytelling like conference that happens the same weekend as Sundance. Masters of Scale Summit, Masters of Multicultural Marketing. I'll be in Martha's Vineyard in August. IAB Annual Leadership Meeting, and then IAB News Fronts and Creator Fronts, and then Media Growth Executive Summit. So those are like the key key conferences between me and my team will be at next year. Leah says, it was speaking at a conference that kickstarted my consulting business. Ooh, see, you learn so much at those conferences. And then everybody's there with their problems. So as entrepreneurs, we are essentially problem solvers. So everybody's there with your problems. You're on the ground and you're hearing what everybody's having challenges with. So it's a way for you to quickly identify needs of the marketplace. Kimberly said, if I knew that I could receive passive income by investing $30K in my 20s. Girl, I'm mad at 5 years old I didn't buy my house. Because if we only knew what we knew, right, in our 20s, we would be doing really different. I was actually talking to someone at my church, and she's probably like in her early 80s. She has multiple myeloma, which is a cancer. My father actually is in remission for the same cancer. It's a cancer in your blood. And she was talking about how her and all her friends earlier, and when they were young, they weren't taught to invest. And now like they're in their 80s and 70s and living off of Social Security, pension. And the scary thing is Gen Z, millennials, like that's not even an option for, well, Social Security. And that will look different by the time we are older. But like things like pension and all these incredible benefits that companies were issuing out in the 70s and 80s and even 90s, that stuff is going to be obsolete by the time we are much older and in need of more assistance and care. So as entrepreneurs, it's really important for us to be thinking 40 years out, 30 years out, 50 years out, because the days will come, right? And it's not too late. It is not too late to invest. It is not too late at all. Kimberly said I would pay for that advice. It's not too late, Kimberly, girl. It is not too late. That conference advice was gold. All right, Tia, what conference are you going to go to? Casey in Barbados said remote counseling, coaching, and consulting services started in 2020 with a government contract. Girl, I'm trying to get into the government contract. That is, when you look at, these massive, really like billion-dollar private companies, like Ray Dalio, Elon Musk, the ways in which they acquire a lot of their wealth is through American government contracting. It ensures if you strategize to acquire the right kind of contracting, you can ensure, solid cash flow for 5 to 7 years with some of these federal contracts that exist, which is cash flow is a big need that entrepreneurs have in order for us to plan properly, for us to be able to predict, in order for us to be able to invest more into the business. So government contracting is definitely on Willie B Studios, like in our future planning. Because Casey in Barbados, if you have anything to share about that, about how you acquire government contracting, what it's done for your business, if you hated it, loved it, please share. Nicole said, I want to do Cannes Lion. It's a big, Nicole, yes, Cannes is a big investment. I didn't go this year because I was sick, very like in and out of a hospital sick, so I couldn't go. But I went last year and the year before, save for it. When I tell you, I was getting meetings with people you just can't get meetings with. I'm in rooms, at dinners, at hotels with the head of this, the head of that. It is worth the investment. Now, with things that are that costly, and when you go, there is such a high volume of activity, you have to be very strategic in where you spend your time. And you would want to do research about the type of people that you want to connect with on the ground there, right? So I remember the first year I went, and I was riding off of vibes, and I was also riding off of like 2 hours of sleep, because I think I was there for about 5 or 6 days. It's a long week, and you are bouncing from event to event to event, party to party, meeting to meeting to meeting. There's a lot of meetings that take place. And then what I wanted to do the next year was go to the actual conference. And so I made it a priority to go to the conference, but I got really burned out and overwhelmed because there was all this activity surrounding the conference. Like, even if you go, you do not need to go to the conference, because there is so many activations, panels, learnings, events that, I mean, I wish I could show you on my computer. I could show you like the event list from last year and the year before. At least 2,000 events just from 1 week. But it's, if you can do it, Nicole, and I remember you were on the last live. I don't remember what industry you work in, but if it intersects into media and entertainment, especially around like advertising, it's a great investment. And that's the thing too, right? There's such a high volume of events that are happening all throughout the year, and you can't be everywhere physically. Your body can't be everywhere, and then you want to be a wise steward of your money, and you want to be strategic about which of these events you're investing in. So it's important to, yes, look at them, assess them, and then look and see who's speaking, what type of people attend, because you can't go everywhere and you can't do everything. Even if you had the money, you won't be able to do it. So you want to be really strategic in your approach at discovering which of these events is the best use for your time. Because remember, time currency. Once it's spent, that's it. Anissa said the decision makers are administrators of hospitals and skilled nursing facilities. Yes, Afrotech is on the list. Okay, well, let me know, because maybe I will go with you. I'm on multiple therapist directories, specialize in mental health evaluations. Nice. Speaking at conferences is a good way to get your registration fee waived. Yes. Yeah, so here's some tips. If you are on a budget and you want to go to a lot of these conferences, here are a lot of things that I have done over the past few years. I have volunteered. I volunteered at the national, I forgot what it's called, diversity something. It happened in Maryland or DC like 2 years ago. So massive, for the suppliers, for the diverse suppliers. I volunteered, and also I am humble. Whatever I need to do to save me $2,000 so I can invest it in something else, I will do it to get that thing. Like Leah said, speaking, that will get your registration fee waived. I have enrolled in free mentorship programs. So Dell did a mentorship program, and there's so many of these things out here because a lot of these businesses are trying to attract small businesses as customers. So what they do is offer free services. So I enrolled in Dell's mentorship program, and I got paired with I was just on there clicking, I want to talk to him. I want to talk to him. I want to talk to him. So I had all these mentors, and I would tell them oh, I want to go to a conference. And they'll be like, oh, well, we have free passes to advertising week, to da-da-da-da-da. So I would get free passes that way through mentorship programs. If you're a female and you go to a lot of these things like CES, Advertising Week, Cannes Lion, Female FQ, they always give free passes to women. Always. So they'll you just go on their website. I think it's called the Female Quotient, FQ. You just go on there, put in your information, and literally they will send you codes or tell you, hey, if you will be at a CES or we'll be at Sundance with a room. If you'd like to come, just scan this code or put in your email address. That's another way to get it. Also, go on your LinkedIn and see if you have friends who are working at some of these places or have spoke at a lot of these places. I remember when I wanted to go to HubSpot's inbound, I went online and I searched like inbound, and I saw that one of my friends was actually the lead producer of inbound. And I wouldn't call her a friend. She was a former colleague, and I reached out to her. Her name's Catherine. I hadn't talked to her maybe in 2 years, and I was like, Catherine, I'm running this business. I need to be in the room, and I don't have the money I don't have $2,000 to give like inbound. And she was like, oh, don't worry about it. She sent me like a VIP pass. So ask y'all, people want to help us. We just have to, I was very specific. I want to go here. I didn't ask for a VIP pass. I just told her, I need the support. I need the education. I will be there. I'll show up. I'll take care of my travel and all that. Can you just help me get in the room? So leverage your community, make the ask, join a lot of these mentorship programs because they have so many free things to stuff. Volunteer. You can, in exchange for your service, people will give you passes. If you can, if you're an expert and you have something additive to give to the conference, you can offer to speak. A lot of them also, maybe you can't speak on a stage, but maybe you could do like a fireside chat, or you could do a post panel. If you have, a brand that could come in and donate things or host a dinner or something like that, maybe it's your job or something like that. Look to see how you can creatively leverage what you have to get into these places. But I need to do a post on this. I think it was like, not last year, but the year before that, I had went to like maybe 15 conferences and maybe I paid for 2. Because I was like, oh, this is a thing. And if I just ask, people just give me the stuff, I'm going to keep on asking. Let's see. What else we got here? Somebody says, sending prayers for your family. Girl, send prayers for me because they drive me crazy. But thank you. I'll take prayers for them too. You should do a TikTok on the conferences your team is going to. Okay, I'll do it. We love Mexico. I'm always submitting proposals for conferences. It truly has opened doors for me. I love that. I love that. I usually volunteer and perks come with that as well. Yes. A free lunch. And then you get like a little, the volunteers have their own little quiet room or green room. We get teas and waters. We get to talk to other panelists and stuff like that. Honestly, I have no clue looking at conferences now. I love that. Let me know what you choose, Tia. Yes, Nicole. Oh, this is how I was able to go to Cannes. The actual conference, I bought my own ticket, but they have, they actually have features for entrepreneurs, like small businesses, where they'll take like $1,000 off of your ticket. If anybody's interested in going and serious, I actually know one of the leaders at Cannes, and I can connect you so that you can take advantage of that. But you have to be serious in order for me to make the connection. And you can say, I saved about, I think the ticket that I had bought was like $2,300. And then they took $1,000 off and I ended up paying $1,300. But again, even if you don't go to the conference, going there is still worth it. Most people actually are not going to the conference while they're there. Kimberly, so do I need to be in people's DM to let them know about my offer? Absolutely. You need to be letting everybody know about your offer. Well, I think a big thing that entrepreneurs are greatly mistaken around is that people know what we're doing, what we're offering, the problem that we're solving, we have to be very intentional at overly communicating it. Marketing is just as important, and being in DMs is a form of marketing, important as sales, because if you don't market, you can't make a sale. Marketing is just as important as revenue, because if you don't market, you can't make a sale that will lead you to revenue. So yes, be in people's DMs. And if they don't want to talk, they'll tell you. Or if they want to know more, they'll tell you. Nicole said, Michael off vibes my first year, just like you. Which conference is this? We might have been talking about, Ayana, we might have been talking about Can. Casey in Barbados said, I acquired the contract through a TPA, third-party administrator, 1099, and comes with CEU training. Okay, girl. Ayana said, I went to grab food. What you eating? Nicole said, work in tech. Thanks for the advice. Yeah, there's a lot of tech-related activities happening at Can because technology powers media and entertainment. So I don't know, girl. You might need to come to Can. Wait, can you make a TikTok on this too? We need free conference hacks. Yes, I will. Shirley, you're so resourceful, and I see that's your secret to success. Girl, yes. When God made Adam and Eve, he didn't put them in the garden with cakes, pies, cash, and, he said, here's some dirt, here's some trees, here's some gold. Go and, be fruitful and multiply. We got to use our creativity to use what's in our hand, right? When God said, take my people and free them from Egypt, he looked at Moses. He said, what's that in your hand? It was a staff. Moses didn't have no tricks and guns and stuff like that. So I am very much about looking at, now I know I need to do better at this, but what's in my hand, and not only am I a resource, but the people around me are a resource. If you're a friend, if you're a colleague, if you're a client, you are a resource. This is a great example. AT&T is one of our clients. AT&T is one of the leading presenters at Tribeca. This year, in 2025, I had a whole Tribeca day of programming. Little old me. I didn't pay for nothing. I didn't foot the bill. I didn't build nothing. It was literally because I leveraged my relationship with AT&T. They had a need. I had an area of expertise. They said, okay, well, can you come and do da-da-da-da-da? And that translated into me having a stage at Tribeca. So everybody, all of us have these things. What we have to do is, instead of looking outside of ourselves and looking for what's missing or where we lack, and that's an illusion as well, but just going internally and seeing, well, what do I have in my hands? What are the resources at my feet? Who do I know? What knowledge do I have? What have I built? And how can I take those things, the relationships that I have, right? How can I take these things and leverage them? And then y'all will be going to free conferences. Don't you love it? Yes, I've learned to lead with your ask. You will be surprised who says yes. Yes. You want to be so clear. A lot of people just aren't clear. Like they have the contact, they have a connection, the person or the thing is right in front of them, but they're just not clear. And I think this is where a big part of like the fear plays in. They're not clear on what they want to ask. I would get so detailed. This is who I am. This is what I need. Can you support me? Right? The more clear you are, and clarity is a sign of love. The more clear you are, the faster you will get what you want, and the quicker you will stop wasting your time and the other person's time. So be clear and ask. What happens if they say no? You die? Nah. Yes, Charity said, period. You never get what you don't ask for. Never. Nicole said, please connect me. I'll send you a DM. Okay, I got you. Tia, this is so good. So sad I need to jump off. Happy holidays. Anissa, he wanted us to create. Exactly. We are creative beings who were made by the creators to create. Kimberly said, what's your advice on praying for sales to support something that you need in your life? What's my advice on praying? Well, you do that all day, every day. But I think you're asking me, I actually don't know what you're asking me. Can you reword that for me, Kimberly? I need to move by the end of the year, and I don't know how I'm going to pull it off yet. You need to move what? Out your house and go somewhere? Or you need to like move a product, move a service? But I'm trying to figure out what you meant. Let's see if you clarified. Hey, boo. Kimberly said, yes, out my house. I got to get out of here. Girl, you got to get a plan. Put yourself together a plan. Iron out a plan. Figure out when you want to be, by when, and then engineer that thing backwards. Where do you live and where are you trying to go? Why you got to get out your house? Are you safe? Wink twice if you're not. So we could send somebody to help you, Kimberly girl. We got to keep you safe. Kimberly said, I got to get up out of this house. All right, what else are you guys achieving in 2026? I want to hear these goals. What's the goals and what is the strategy? What is the strategy? If you need help with strategy, just drop strategy and we're going to talk through it. I got about 10 more minutes. And then me and my honey boo boo, we about to have a family meeting and talk about family goals for 2026. I've been pouring all this intentional work into business and making sure business is good and all that. And now I get to do that for the family that I'm creating, because that's equally as important. And then I need to get on these personal goals. I'm thinking about joining Weight Watchers. Has anybody did Weight Watchers? I need some support with like fitness accountability. Okay, Kimberly said, I'm safe. Good girl. We had to make sure you were safe. My lease is up. I had some family emergency that I had to pull from my savings for. Yeah, I would figure out, is the lease up on the 31st? But I would figure out of December. And this is for any goal. If you're moving, if you're looking to get another client, if you're looking to have a contract, what's your aim? What's the target you're looking to hit? I'm looking to hit the target of January 31st. Okay, cool. Every action I take needs to ladder up to me achieving that goal of January 31st, right? But setting a date for yourself, not to say that it has to happen then, because you want to be gracious with yourself and give yourself flexibility, but you need a target. Right? So this is what I'm aiming towards, and this is what I want to achieve then. Okay. Now I don't know what I'm going to do to pull it off. Kimberly, you got this, girl. Goal, Anissa said goal is to secure hospital contracts for software. 10. Whoa. We got a big goal stepper in the building. 10 milli. For 10 contracts in 2026, we're making 10 million off of these software contracts. Let me know, Anissa. Kimberly said, I'm like one client or something. Okay. Little Miss Tintin, whose name I love. This is great. Happy I've come across your page. 2026. What am I thinking about? 2026 is less about education and more period. There's like studies around us knowledge seekers and people who do a lot of acquiring information and intellect, and how that can be a form, it can be like, it can convert into a form of procrastination and actually slow you down, because it can, too much knowledge can cause you to over intellectualize and prevent you from taking action. Little Miss Tintin, take all of that good stuff you done learned and just turn it into some action steps. I love that for you. Love, love, love that for you. Software is saving hospitals on paying out to CNA schools and giving them the platform to train their own staffs. Girl, you are a beast. Kimberly said, I hope y'all add into your family. Me too. I gotta get these nasty fibroids out of my belly. If you black and female, you know what I'm talking about. Congratulations on the wedding. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you, boo. Hospitals pay $1 million for their software across multiple regions. Chat gave me how much hospitals pay for. Girl, you know who you talking to. I'm the lady who believes anything's possible. So 10 million it is. Hello, 2026. I tell everyone about how you got your husband. I love that. That's so funny. Kimberly, you dating or you gotta get out the house first? You like, girl, I gotta get a crib. Hey, Day Day. I love you, Niecy Boo. I'm literally getting my MBA at Stern, my second master's, but I'm taking action this time. Let's go. Let's go. Tia said, haha, came back. Welcome back, Tia. We missed you, girl. All right, so nobody else. No, oh, wait, a few of y'all did share your 2026 goals. I love that. Anybody else? Yes, MBA, that's hard. That's hard. That is admirable. That's incredible. It's another beautiful, educated black woman in the marketplace. I love it. Women move abroad and their fibroids shrink because it's less stressful. Well, then I need to pack my bags. And Kimberly, me and you need to go to Mexico. We need to go ahead and leave, because these things are so uncomfortable. But God willing, in Q1, I can get them out. I can get them out, and hopefully they won't grow back and they'll stay out. That's the goal. All right, y'all. Well, this was fun. If there's, like, as I'm prepping for next week, if there's anything, you could just drop one word. But if there's anything that you want me to talk about on next week's live, let me know, so that I can come prepared to talk about those things. And I'll make 2 videos per Nicole's advice around how I got to go to a lot of conferences for free, and the conferences me and the team are going to this year. I'll do that. Thank you, Nicole, for giving me that tidbit. And then I'll come back with updates since you gave it. Yay! Kimberly's gonna come back with updates. Leah said, great live. Okay, well, I'll do my own research and find something to talk about next week. But y'all make me so happy, and y'all were so much fun. Thank y'all for all your engagement. Please always come. I don't want to just yap. I want to talk about what's important to y'all and what y'all want to talk about, and offer advice around the things that actually matter to people and not just be yapping. So, Merry Christmas. Toodles.